A very good morning to all my BBA second year students. We'll begin with the subject of business communication skills. Well, in the last video or the last class, we already discussed the part about the regarding to the organizational context, what are the different channels of communication. We are learning the second unit of your BCS, that is communication channels, communication media and channels. We learned about communication media and channels, but regarding to the organizational context, there are three types of communication channels, namely, first one is formal, second one is informal, and third one is unofficial. In the previous video, we already discussed about the formal communication, what are the different types of formal communication, and the advantages and disadvantages of formal communication. Now this class or this video, we will discuss about the informal communication, how it is useful to the people of an organization, or how it is useful to an organization, and secondly, how can it provide support to an organization, its advantages as well as disadvantages. Let us begin with your topic, that is informal communication. Informal communication is a result of informal relationship among employees, and the message follows through the informal channel. Now, informal relationship among employees, what does this indicate? Now, formal relationship means only official relationship. Informal relationship means having a gossip, having a talk together, having a sharing of feelings together, having emotions together. That is a friendly zone of any official organization is called as informal communication. The friend zone or the friendly zone where superior can talk with the subordinates, where a subordinate can talk to the CEOs. It is an informal channel which is conducted outside the which is conducted in or outside an organization. So that is an informal channel, and informal communication is the one which flows to an informal channel. The informal communication is also known as grapevine. It is not prescribed officially, but it emerges from the pattern of informal interaction of organizational members. Now, it is known as grapevine. The other name of informal channel is grapevine. It is not prescribed officially. So this, like of formal communication, it has certain rules, procedures and regulations to follow. The informal communication does not have any rules, regulation and information and procedures to follow, but it does not emerge. It emerges with a pattern of informal interaction. Informal interaction means, suppose I am comfortable and friendly with my colleague, so the sharing of information or the sharing of feelings or sharing of thoughts is between me and my colleague's comfort zone. So that is a prescribed, it does not have a prescribed part that communication has to go in this way or this path. It does not have any prescribed part, but it emerges with a pattern of interaction. I am very friendly with my colleagues rather than my superiors. Some of the subordinates are very friendly with their superiors rather than their colleagues. So there are different persons with different opinions and different mindsets, and everyone has their own comfort zone. Everyone has their own mindset. The people having the same mindsets become very friendly and close to each other. So they are meant to follow their informal communication or the channel through which they want to communicate and are comfortable with. So that is all about the informal communication. Now, the word grapevine is from US Civil War. At the time, intelligence telephone lines were hung loosely from tree to tree. In the manner of grapevine, information was passed from one telephone line to another. So the reason why the informal communication is called as grapevine, because during the US Civil War, the telephone lines were hung from tree to tree like grapevines. Grapevines means it's nothing but bunch of grapes hanging upon a tree. Bunch of grapes hanging upon a tree is generally known as grapevine. So the message was passed from telephone line to other telephone line. Now, informal communication follows different types of communication networks. We studied about the formal communication networks, that is single line, circular, wheel, and we can say free flow, then inverted wheel. That was the types of or the networks of formal communication channel. These are the types of networks of informal communication channel. Usually single strand, gossip, probability, and cluster. These are the informal communication networks. Let us study this individually. Single strand. In single strand network, the individual communicate with each other through a third person. Third person is the mediator, means through one medium, one person, person A communicates with person B through a third person, that is person C. So this communication takes place with and around a third person only. So this is a type of communication where more than two persons are involved and the third person is a connecting tool between person A and person B. That is, the middle person is person C, that is the third person. Second one is gossip. In this gossip, the individual communicate through non-selective person. So gossips are normally the what we say chit chats which is in and around an organization about some person, about some problems in the office, about some happening of events in the office. That are gossips. That can be presented with an individual choice. Suppose I am comfortable with some with certain person, so I will share my gossip with that certain person. The person whom I am not comfortable with, there is no use of sharing gossip of information about any other person to that person. So I may be friendly with some persons, I may not be friendly with some persons. The persons I am friendly with, I will share my gossip with. Probability. Now, in probability, an individual communicate randomly with each other according to the law of probability. What is the law of probability? It depends on the happening and non-happening of an event. What is the law of probability? It depends on the happening and non-happening of an event. So that is the law of probability. And if the event is happening, the communication is made. If the event is not happening, the communication is not passed on. That is the law of probability, and this probability network is based on the law of probability, that it depends on the happening and non-happening of an event. The last one is cluster. The individual communicate only with the person who he trusts. Obviously, if there is informal communication too much clumsier or too much of hatred going on with each other, it becomes in an organizational and unauthorized and disturbance in the organization. So talking to the person who we trust is a better option to communicate in an informal manner. Now, accuracy in grapevine. How is an informal communication accurate? Usually there is a perception that grapevine is inaccurate. However, the accuracy of the message sent or received can be measured in the form of probability. It may be true, it may be false, or it can be partially true or partially false. Now, what is grapevine is usually the gossip, the rumors, the probabilities which are going in and around an organization. To believe that depends on an individual. So it may be either true, it may be either false, or maybe partially true or partially false. Because this information has jumped from one person to another person. So every time the information jumps, the person can add something to the information and subtract something from the information. So that is the part of informal communication, which is not exactly accurate like formal communication. Now, what are the advantages of informal communication? Interpreted. The information is given by the top level management by a formal system. It is easy for the employees to take explanation by informal system. Now, the information, the instructions, the procedures, the plans are to be followed by an individual which tries to give the information. Suppose I am the top level management, CEO of my company. I try to give information or give uh, necessary instruction to my employees. So these instructions I give in a formal manner or the formal way, but I try to explain those in the language and in the manner that my employees will understand and work accordingly. That is the part of interpreted. Suppose in the classrooms, example in the classrooms, we teach you in English, we pronounce, we say, we dictate in English. While making you understand, we use Odia and Hindi languages to make you understand the better meaning of the topic we taught you. So that is the meaning of interpreted. Second one is alternate system. The management sometimes is not able to reach a lot of information by formal channels. Informal communication covers the gap of formal communication. Now, the employees, suppose the employees, management or employees are sometimes a bit different, like top level management, middle level and lower level. There is a gap in a formal communication channel. There is a gap. They are not friendly enough. So that gap is covered by informal channel. The management of any company or the management of your college, we are not that much accurate, or we can say we are not that much familiar with the management. But if there is an informal communication, we become familiar, we become friendly in a manner. So the informal communication covers the gap of formal communication. Coming down to the next point, improve relationship. Any issues, problems between management and workers can be solved by informal means or informal system. So it makes the relationship among employees and the management. So obviously there is a problem of superiority in a organization. In every organization there is a problem of superiority. Suppose the management and the workers having a problem. Mutually discussing it, friendlily discussing it with our informal communication channel is a better way to solve issues and problems between the management and the workers. Rather than going in a formal way, formal path, coming down to an informal part improves relationship in every organization. Next point is present grievance. Now, under the informal system, the employees disclose their needs, sentiments, and emotions to other authorities without feeling hesitation. Now, under the informal system, the employees disclose presence of grievance. If there is an informal system in an organization, a person can share his emotions, his presence of mind, his depression, or any kind of problems, mental problems which he comes around in day-to-day life. With those sharing of feelings, you feel lighter and work more efficiently in a part of an organizational context or to achieve an organizational objective. So presence of grievance is that there are some employees of same age or same background or same religion. They become friendly with each other or cope up with each other and share feelings, emotions, needs, and we can say and sentiments. So these come under the part where an employees feel free to work and feel energetic to work and feel motivated to work after lighten up, um, after calming himself down by sharing of feelings and sentiments. So this is the part of informal communication. The next is increasing efficiency. Under informal communication, the employees discuss their problems openly and they can solve it. At mental peace, work is done properly. So if efficiency, how does it provide efficiency? Suppose the management and the workers are friendly with each other in an informal context. So if there is any problem or if there is any mental stress or mental problem or any kind of issues, they can solve with the help of informal communication. So with the mental peace, it increases the more efficiently. If a person is working with a calm mind and patiently, then obviously he or she will work with a better what we can say, better mental peace and mental work. So it is easy and proper and more efficient for an employee to work with the solving of all his problems in and around the in and around an official organization, or we can say in and around an organization. Providing recommendations. In this system, the employees inform their superiors about problems, demands, and the way to adopt implementation system of work. Suppose I'm a regional worker. I go to a MNC. So if there is a person related to my state or my language, it is better for me to understand the type of work I have to do. There is a formal channel of communication, no doubt, but informally I have a better opinion. I have a better choice to understand the work which I have to do in my own comfort zone. So that is the part of providing recommendations. Now, next is flexibility. Informal communication is more flexible than formal communication because it is free from all kinds of formalities. Informal communication does not have any formalities, superiorities, junior, senior, what do we say, other delegation of authorities and all. So it is a free channel. We can talk to each other. We can share feelings, sentiments, emotions, family problems, personal problems freely with each other, with whoever person we trust, and we can trust and we can communicate. We have a comfort zone there. So it is very flexible in nature. Rapid communication. Informal communication transmit very fastly, especially miscommunication or rumor spreads rapidly to others in the organization. Obviously, it happens in everywhere that if there is a rumor or if there is a miscommunication, it falls and catch the fire in and around a forest. It catches the fire in the forest where the trees are closely to each other. It catches in a rapid way. So likewise, the rumors are spread like fire in the forest. Coming down to the part of disadvantages of informal communication. Spread of rumor. In this system, the rumor spreads rapidly. The original information may be transmitted to wrong informal. Now, spread of rumors are very common. That is because of jealousy, because of hatred, because of not having a comfort zone with the other person. So that kind of relationship spread rumors means ill about someone, the news which is false, the news which is not correct. So that are the rumors. Second one is maintaining secrecy is impossible. Informal system is minimized communication, is made open discussion. It is impossible to maintain secrecy. Now, secrecy is maintained in a formal communication, but not in an informal communication, as it can be passed very easily from one person to another person. So, the maintenance of some documents of an organization or any other problems is very difficult in an informal communication channel. Next one is difficulty in controlling. Under informal communication, no rules or policies is obeyed, hence it is very difficult to control the information. Now there are gossips, there are different kinds of rumors going on. How can we control those things? It is impossible because there are no rules and regulations and policies to be followed in an informal communication. So we have a very difficulty in controlling the informal channel of communication. The next is non-cooperation. Informal communication system develops adversely culture among employees. Adversely culture means the employees and non-cooperation, because there are groups in an organization, there are person with different backgrounds, different opinions, different mindsets. So these kind of systems provide a non-cooperation between the employees, which is very difficult and which is very difficult to manage by the management of a company or an organization. Distort meaning. Sometimes the meaning and the subject matter of information distort in the system. Distort means changed. Distort means change. Totally the meaning and the concept. Suppose I said that he's a nice person. It is transmitted to the other person that he's not a nice person. The meaning of my communication is totally changed. It is distorted with the timely. So informal communication is not very accurate. It has gossip, it has rumors. So it forms a irregular system, in a irregular, or we can say not a accurate system in an organization. Last one is misunderstanding. Under this term, generally the employees do not obey the formal authentication. A misunderstanding happens when there are gossip and rumors. So under this system, the employees do not follow the authentication of formal communication and do not have the procedures or rules to be followed. So they do not have any certain rules, policies and procedures to be followed in and around an organization. So these are the part of informal communication. We learned about it, the advantages and disadvantages of informal communication. Next, we will learn about downward or upward communication in the coming classes. Students, please write down the notes of all these which are given in your particular groups. Thank you one and all.